I got a Daisy feeling. I got a Daisy feeling. Yeah.
Hello, Cinedaisies. I'm JABY KOAY, joined by Andrew Flash Gordon.
What's up?
We're looking at an Amazon Prime Video trailer today. We're showing this on the Indian channel because it stars Priyanka Chopra. At least she's one of the stars. CITADEL is the name of the film. I should have started with that. Comes out April 28th. Enter a new age of espionage. Watch the trailer for CITADEL, a new spy series starring Richard Madden and Priyanka Chopra Jonas, streaming on Prime Video. So I would imagine it's going to be in Prime Video India as well. You guys, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications, and pretty please vote this up. Let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. Here we go.
No pauses.
Tell me you ever felt like you should be somewhere else, doing something else. Tell me you've never seen my face before. I was in a train. There was an explosion. And I couldn't remember anything except you. You were a spy, like me.
If you touch me, I'm gonna scream.
Catch. I thought you were gonna catch it.
You better back up.
And then I was gonna be like, Ben, how come you can do that? Run!
I have seen you before. In a dream.
Oh, what?
Who you were was a myth. Who you were was Citadel. A spy agency loyal to no nation.
Oh.
Ago, we were double-crossed by one of our own.
We're creating a new order. It's only a matter of time.
I love that mic angle.
Now, I need your help. What's going on here? It's the only way.
You can never find out.
You need to remember the past to save the future.
Are you ready?
Wow. Nice.
I see you left me a few new toys.
Yes, I built them for my favorite spy.
Aww.
He hated them, and I didn't want them to go to waste, so...
Interesting. There were a lot of interesting camera angles. They kept them going. They weren't Dutch shots, but they were.
Oh, and the Dutch extreme shots. That reminds me of the opening introductory shot of Spock in Star Trek by J.J. Abrams, because he had a really cool shot that was kind of like that. Camera was moving around to reveal him. They did that quite a few times, and it was like completely side, like 90 degrees at times. But you know, what do you call it? Unwinding back to normal. I can't help but notice that Richard Madden always has a love scene with an exotic-looking woman. You notice that?
Yeah, you're talking about everyone's favorite MCU film, The Eternals.
Yeah. Well, in Game of Thrones, I don't know what her ethnicity was. She just didn't look like other people on the show. I probably sound really ignorant right now, and I apologize for that. But she just looked more exotic than other people on the show, for lack of a better word. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous woman. I need to show you who this woman is.
JABY knows I like to see a good, beautiful woman.
Una Chaplin.
Una Chaplin. Wow. Yeah, she's freaking gorgeous.
Okay, so she's Spanish and Swiss. I knew she was like, I knew she wasn't like white. Pure bred white. The moment she shows up in the show, you're like, golly, she's really, really, really pretty. And that's who Richard Madden ends up with in the show. And then in Eternals, Gemma Chan. And now this, he's got Priyanka Chopra Jonas, and then Jonas is in the background with his guitar ready to like strike at any moment. That was the first thing I thought about. That was my critique. I'm like, he just keeps doing this.
Yeah, but there were some interesting flavors in this from other films. I felt like some Bourne. I felt like some Total Recall in there, just like relearning your memories.
What if we do Bourne Identity, but the love interest is also without memory? It seems like they're reintegrated quite quickly. I don't know if it's like a code word like Winter Soldier and suddenly they remember all the things that they forgot. But I did really like that moment. If you're not a spy, that how he throws the knife and she's just like, what the fuck? That was a great twist on what we'd normally expect with spy films. There's a moment like that in Kung Fu, The Legend Continues, where David Carradine is pretending to be a waiter. He's like serving glasses or something like that. And this guy suspects David Carradine of being a Shaolin Kung Fu master and knocks over something on on accident. David Carradine catches it because he's got the instincts of a kung fu master, and then the guy grabs his wrist and checks his tattoo out and goes, kung fu master, or something. I forgot what he said after.
Well, that moment made me think of, obviously, superhero film. Made me think of when Bruce Wayne was testing out Barry Allen's limits in the Justice League.
There you go.
Or the Justice League, the Joss Whedon
We all know what you're talking
version,
about.
where he threw the batarang at him. That would have been funny, though, if Barry Allen would have been like, what are you doing? That could have hit me. The action, this looks really cool. I had no idea the Russo brothers were working on this. I know I don't think they obviously directed, just said they were the executive producers. I love how they also had to throw the title in there, the directors of Avengers and
Oh, well, I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
No, of course. You got to milk. I mean, they did a phenomenal job, even though I think Winter Soldier was my favorite. But I'm curious if they did direct any episodes, because I have not seen any of their films since Endgame. I know they did the one with Tom Holland. They did the one with Chadwick Boseman. Also the one with Chris Evans, right, recently.
Ryan Gosling.
I've heard a lot of mixed things.
Gray Man.
Yeah, Gray Man,
Yeah.
which I get accused of looking like Chris Evans in that film. I have heard a lot of mixed things on all those films, and I've thought the Russo brothers, like, they're really tight directors in terms of they can do comedy, they can do action. So, I mean, they've had some hit or misses since that, so I'm really curious how this is going to stem out in terms of critically with the fans. It looks interesting. Again, I like the fusion of doing some Total Recall, some Bourne series in there. I like Richard Madden. He's a very charismatic actor.
Actor.
Yeah, he is a charismatic actor too. No, he's very charismatic. He's got that stoic presence to him, and I think like he can do playing a spy really cool. I like how they got two Marvel actors in there too, him and Stanley Tucci from Captain America. And you always get a win with Stanley Tucci. Obviously I don't know this actress very well, but
Priyanka Chopra, Jonas?
I do not know. I don't think
Oh,
I've
my
ever seen her,
goodness.
but she is.
You're missing out, my friend.
Well, not anymore. Now that I know who she is.
But
She's beautiful.
I think to what you were saying a moment ago about them emphasizing the fact that these are the guys that did Avengers and whatnot and Winter Soldier or whatever. I think that it's really, really important that you do that, because there was an essay video on YouTube that I watched talking about, I think it was Babel or whatever the Brad Pitt.
Yeah, it was Babel.
And is it Margot Robbie? It was a recent film by Damien Chazelle, who directed Whiplash and La La Land, but it didn't perform very well. And this YouTube video was kind of breaking down, like, why didn't it perform well? And it had to do with the marketing. And part of the marketing was they didn't even emphasize the fact that the director directed La La Land or Whiplash, like these Hollywood darlings. Like, why wouldn't you emphasize those movies in the trailer? And no one understood what the story was. Here, we get a clear picture of the story, and we understand who's behind it. We don't know who the director is, like you mentioned, but like that's not the selling point. You know, but the Russo brothers have been at it in a producing sense, trying to, I guess, either help other people shine or just make money in different ways, because, they've been doing more of the producing as of late, not just for the States, but kind of internationally. They've been more on the producing side of things than they have on the directing side of things lately. And I think that's actually a smart move for them to just like be able to work on more projects and bring other, stories to life, and not having to spearhead it all the way through, but just like putting your name on there and helping facilitate it any way you can.
No, of course. I mean, marketing is extremely important. I wasn't saying why did they do that. It was just more of, I always just find it fascinating when they do it's the same thing with Avatar, when they put the first one came out in 2009, they put James Cameron, director of Terminator, Aliens, Titanic.
Gotta
of
do it.
course. No. For marketing purpose. I mean, you can have a great film, market it poorly, and a lot of people aren't going to get to see it. I mean, one of my favorite films that I've just in general that I thought was marketed very poorly, and that's why it didn't do well in theaters, Galaxy Quest. I thought, again, if you look at
a great movie.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
You look at the marketing campaign for it. I remember when I watched the trailer for that film, I was like, nah, I'm not into this. My dad dragged me to see it, and then halfway through, I was like, damn, this movie was marketed terribly.
Yeah, it was really good.
And Tim Allen complained about the marketing of that film. But again, I agree with you. The marketing can sink or make a good schwink. It can make a good movie or show.
Sink or swim.
It can make a good show or movie, sink or swim.
So, shrink or swim. I think this is a cool concept.
Yeah.
It's different. I don't know that I'm 100% all chips in. I do like the concept. I do think that this is interesting. And Priyanka Chopra. That's great, JABY KOAY. Priyanka Chopra Jonas. That should just be her last name now. Priyanka Chopra. Priyanka Chopra Jonas being in this, obviously, has caught my eye. Honestly, more than Richard Madden has caught my eye. Priyanka Chopra's gotten me more intrigued with this. And it's her second run out doing a sort of spy kind of thing? Because isn't that what she did in Quantico is her show, and we had like 3 seasons. She was playing a lady with a gun in that show. It was successful enough to get 3 seasons off.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened after 3, but she has some experience as a spy person lady thing, and so I'm wondering, because they had that little comedic moment, which is very Russo Brothers, by the way. They had that little comedic moment where she like doesn't catch the knife initially, and I'm wondering if how long that's going to play a role in the film. I enjoyed The Gray Man for what it was. It wasn't a fantastic film. I had mixed feelings about it, just like the internet. But I did enjoy some of the comedic moments in that movie. Like, I liked what the Russo Brothers tried to bring to it in terms of levity and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that this film has that without it winking at the audience, without it feeling like it's ribbing you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
No, my whole thing is when you do comedy in stuff that is more action-based, I just don't want it to take away from the moment. It's kind of more like, you got to pick and choose the points and where you put the humor.
Yeah.
You don't want to overdo it, because when you overdo it, it kind of makes it feel more like a joke at that point. But my favorite kind of action is storytelling action, character development action. I'm hoping there's a lot of that in the series, because I love a good spy show or a good spy movie. I'm obsessed with those. Mission Impossible, one of my favorite series ever. What Tom Cruise does in that series is incredible. But I think the thing I'm most interested in, besides the action that looked pretty good so far in this trailer, the chemistry between the main two, that it looks really good so far in the little glimpses I got in this trailer. So I think that should be the main selling point on what gets us invested in these characters is their chemistry, their interactions, and their characters being fleshed out as they learn more, get their memories back.
Shrink or swim.
Shrink or swim.
You guys, thanks so much for hanging out. I'm JABY, KOAY. This is
Andrew, the Flash Gordon.
Peace out.